Hello, fellow traders. 'Tis I, the Rumpled One, coming to you on Wednesday, June the 15th. The year's 2022. Let's talk trading. Your questions, my answers. As always, these videos are for educational purposes only. Your results may differ from mine. I had a question from a trader. Let me show it to you. They're asking about the TRO 2020 frequency distribution hour-day range occurs indicator regarding the columns. I guess they don't understand what some of the values are. So let's go through those. And here we go. So, well, first off, one of the reasons I created the indicator was because when Walmart and I started talking on the phone and kind of trading together over the phone, and he was trading the pound dollar and he's trading the Walmart method. That was pretty much his bread and butter at the time. And so it's something that he observed, and he trades part of the London session and part of the London New York overlap. And what we were looking for was during what hours do the H1 bar are the H1 bars the biggest, or do they exceed a certain amount, a certain range, high minus low? So that's why I created the indicator, to pinpoint the best time of day to trade and what time of day not to trade. So there's the indicator. And I had sweet spots gold on there, turned it off. Let's turn it back on. So right now we're in hour 15. Above, how many times was high minus low above 13 during hour 8? Well, it was above it 108 times, and that was 100%. So in other words, there's 8 bars over the last 193 bars. So you have to remember there's 24 hours in a day. So that means you're going to get one result per day. So for basically every 48 bars that you tell the indicator to check, you can only have 2 results. So that's why these numbers look low, even though we're testing 193. We tested 193 bars here. Actually, we tested more, but there's some that don't appear certain days of the week. So that's the first one. So this is the number of occurrences out of this that we had the 1500. How many times was the range high minus low greater than 13? And how many times was it less than 13? So 8 and 0. So 100%, 0%. Now, the maximum range, high minus low, out of these 8 bars was 87.9. The minimum range was 21.6. And the average was 36.6. So you can see here, this is a great hour to trade the Walmart method. And what we're looking at is we're looking at the Wednesday, as opposed to, this is just on Wednesdays because we've got the day filter on. So we're looking at 8 Wednesdays, the last 8 Wednesdays. So I hope that kind of clears things up. But here on hour 14, we actually had 1 hour that was less than 13. We had a 12.8. That was the minimum. So just under. And so I hope that answers the questions about the frequency distribution hour day range occurs. So, of course, you can use this on other pairs other than pound dollars, but this is one way to analyze price movement and when to trade. So you can see here, I think normally we start trading around hour 13, or Walmart starts trading around hour 13. I usually start trading around hour 15. And then I think, let's see, he usually ends somewhere around hour 16 or 17. So he's got these 5 hours, but a lot of times he's done in about 1 or 2 hours, and then he'll just sit there and we'll talk, and he'll say he's done, but then he'll see a trade and he can't help himself. So that's how this indicator works, and it's part of the TRO 2020 donationals. So as you look at the method here, let's put this on H1. So you can see here the long trigger was 20, the short trigger was 21.20, the short trigger was 21.11. I'm sorry, 21.10. I guess I'm still slightly asleep here. And you can see price dropped 10, 20, 30, 40, almost 50 pips. Well, the range was 54, but there was a little upper wick and then price reversed. So once again, that looked pretty simple. We can drill down to M5 to take a look. And you can see here, if you took the trade, it pulled back on you slightly, but then it dropped down. But, looking at this, you can see you had some push up here off of this 2110 line, even before the hours, because this is the first 5-minute bar of the hour. So it was pushing up. So you were getting this flat bottom, but you were getting lower highs. Then all of a sudden it pushed up, broke 1, 2, 3, but it didn't break this one. And then it started coming back down. So that was the key that, hey, this is a possible trade here. And it turned out nicely. But, you can do all this analyzing you want, but, anything could happen. You could have taken this short, and the next thing you know, this thing could have gone off the chart. You don't know. That's why we put a stop loss in. Because once you enter the trade, all you can then do is exit the trade. You're waiting to exit. And you'll either exit with a profit or a loss. And the only thing you can really determine is how big a loss you exit with. You can determine that usually before you get into the trade. I mean, you could put your stop loss in at, say, entry minus 10, but if the market spikes, it might go against you, 20 pips. But under normal trading circumstances, you usually don't see that happen. So that's why we trade in the first place. So that indicator was basically used to fine-tune the Walmart method. But, you can use it for any other method to pick out, when's the volatility. And right now you can see you had this big return bar set up and prices coming back down to almost cover that return bar. And so, once again, analyzing the chart, you can see right here, started to do a little consolidation, tried to break out, returned hard, came back down, turned that candle from green to red right there at the previous hour's low, taking that breakout. Once again, would have proved to be profitable. And there we have the return bar completed. And what I did was to find out return bars was I ran the the regular frequency distribution indicator, and I looked at what the 5-minute ranges were. And once it gets to 8 or higher, it really drops off in 5 minutes. And so those are what I would consider return bars. So you can see here, you've got a 10 pip and another bar right here. Well, it's starting to come back. And what I look for is not the high-low range, but basically the open-close range, because I want to see big bodies. So for example, this bar, even though it's got a long range, I wouldn't consider this a return bar. This looks like a return bar. And so I can, when I write the return bar indicator, TRO, I think it's TRO 2018 return, that indicator I put in 8. So on the M1 and M5 charts, especially M1, if it gets over 8, it's most likely a return bar. So I hope that answers the questions about those indicators. And let's see, we haven't gone through the charts much this week. Okay, money management. As I was saying, you have to take the profit before the market takes it back. On the monthly, you can see we are 537 pips below monthly open. On the weekly, 248. And we still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 gaps that haven't filled here. We entered the opening range for the week today, and then we fell out at 2106. And I don't know for you pound traders, putting in that yearly low yesterday, that was crazy. 1933. 1,467 pips below the yearly open. I guess I need to expand that because we've got, I should have a minus sign in front. Update that indicator. Inside bar from 5 days ago, nowhere near it, but there was a nice trade to be had there, it looks like. And still some inside bar trading happening. Wow, Euro, Australia, 20 days ago, inside bar action. Looks like all the pound pairs are over 100 in pips. Almost all the pound pairs, not the Euro GBP, 96. But the Euro pairs, a lot of those are over 100 today. And dollar yen. I've been stalking dollar yen. Every time it gets 135 or higher, I've been putting a short on. And I caught it pretty nice on an overnight trade the other day. Buy zone in and out. But fellow traders, once again, the fastest 15 minutes in trading is up. So if you have any questions, go ahead and post them. You can post them on the Facebook group. You can post them on the YouTube reply. And I prefer you post them somewhere out on a forum rather than a private email or private message. So just remember, it's not what you trade, it's how you trade it. So go out there and drain the banks. This is the Rumpled One, over and out.